Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a single perfume review on a new fragrance. New to me. I don't know how long these fragrances have been out, but I was actually scrolling on the Sephora website the other day and I saw these and I checked the availability for my locations, like the stores in my area, and it said that they didn't have them. So I was like, okay. I was kind of thinking about ordering them online, and then I was like, maybe I'll wait. And then a few days went on, I completely forgot about them, and I was at Sephora the other day and I see them all on display and I was like, oh my god, I have to get those to review, because a couple of you have actually requested me to review this brand, and when you did, I had no idea what this brand was. I had never heard of it prior to them showing up at my Sephora. This is the brand LoveShackFancy. So first of all, look at this little box. It's so cute. It's the most feminine, girly, almost gives like this vintage feminine vibe, and I really love it. And I had never heard of them before. I don't know if they're like some popular brand that maybe just I haven't heard. Like, have I been living under a rock? I don't know. And I looked it up, and apparently they're like a clothing brand, a really high-end clothing brand. Their fragrances also are on the higher end side, but at the same time they're not to like the niche extent, so they're not going to be like $300. There's 3 of them in total and they were $120, and they only came in one size, which is the 2.5 fluid ounce, and then they also came in a travel size in case you wanted to just test them out. I smelled all 3 of them, and the other 2 were kind of just bland, and then I smelled this one and I fell in love with it. And funny enough, I thought this was gonna be my least favorite one because one of the main notes in this fragrance is gardenia, so I was like, I'm not gonna like that. And I remember that because I was looking at it on the website before seeing them in stores, and I was like, yeah, I don't really care for these. And then when I actually go into the store and smell them, I fell in love with this one, and I knew I had to pick it up to review for you guys. And when you see this bottle, we'll get into what I think about this bottle in a minute, but before we get into everything that this perfume entails, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn post notifications on, and let's get started. All right, so let's start off with the bottle. This is the bottle. So this perfume is called Forever in Love by LoveShackFancy. Now, to be completely 100% honest with you, I can't tell if this looks super cute, and I mean it is. It has a freaking giant bow on it, but to me it almost kind of draws a line of something that is really cute and super feminine and girly, and then also kind of looks a little cheap. I can't tell which way I'm leaning more on. One day I'm like, this is so cute. Every time I look at it, it's so freaking cute. Like on display, it's so freaking cute. But then the more I look at it, I'm like, I feel like this looks like those, you know, those perfumes that they sell at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, like the ones that are out in the open, like the more inexpensive ones that are like $15. I feel like this one kind of looks like it would be there. But then I think about how much this was, and I'm like, no, this is definitely high end. This was $120. Like, that is more expensive than some designers. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you think it's really cute? Do you think it looks a little tacky and cheap? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So now let's get into the notes. This says, Forever in Love is a vibrant floral with green pear, gardenia, and hints of cedar wood. Unapologetically feminine and full of life, looking for the bright side and finding it again and again. And what I really love about this is in the back, when it lists off the notes, it says love notes. And I think that that's just cute. The notes are pretty simple in it. I don't know if there's more notes than just the ones that they were listing on here, but I did check over on Fragrantica as well, and Fragrantica also has these 3 notes. As far as how this smells, it doesn't smell super unique, I will say that right off the bat. This definitely reminds me of perfumes I've smelled before, but it's kind of like the mashup of a bunch of perfumes I really love, and it smells like all the parts that I really love about those other scents. The first fragrance that I think about when I smell this, which I actually decluttered for my collection because it ended up being a little too much for me, specifically the gardenia. And that fragrance was Gucci Gorgeous Gardenia. For one, it did not last on me at all, like at all. I would spray it and after 20 minutes it was gone. And number 2, I felt like over time the gardenia would stand out more and more. Now in here, I think the reason why this is reminding me of that is probably again because that gardenia. But for someone that really disliked gardenia, and to me every time I smell this note, I just think of something more mature, like something that my grandma would wear, you know? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I've gotten called out before for saying this smells like a grandma scent, and I never mean that to be in a bad way. Like, I have a grandmother. I love my grandmother, but I don't want to smell like my grandmother. And people just get butthurt when you say that. I don't know why. Like, I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just, I don't want to smell like my grandma. And if I'm being real, gardenia and rose have been those two notes where when I smell them, I think of my grandmother. Now, what I really, really love about this and why I ended up ultimately picking this one up, even though I decluttered Gorgeous Gardenia out of my collection, is because the gardenia is not the main element in here. This one has that pear, and it also has a strong cedar base note. And I love, love, love cedar. I just love what cedar does to fragrances. It just adds this amazing, I don't want to say masculine because there's nothing masculine about this scent, but in a lot of fragrances that I've tried out personally, cedar always gives off this just sexy, I'll call it that, like just a really, really sexy touch to fragrances. And for this one, I feel like it's giving it exactly what it needs, because if it was just the pear and the gardenia, it would be like a really fruity floral, but I almost feel like the gardenia would overpower the pear because gardenia is on the stronger side. But in here, it's almost as if everything is blended beautifully. The gardenia doesn't really stand out to my nose. I totally smell the pear. It just has this bright, vibrant fruitiness to it, but it dries down, and then that cedar wood almost immediately comes in, and that is where I love this fragrance. After about 10 seconds, when it's kind of settled on the skin and that more fresh and floral type of vibe from the pear and the gardenia kind of dies down, immediately that is when I truly, truly love this fragrance. And I had my husband with me at Sephora when we were smelling this, and he loved it. He was like, oh, it smells so pretty. He was literally kissing my neck. I'm like, okay, I have to buy it. This brand is known for a lot of really feminine clothing. Like, I'll put up some pictures here on the screen right now. Everything is super romantic feeling, super like ultra feminine and just really pink. So that makes me understand this bottle more, but I feel like if you didn't know that and you see this bottle, you would either think that this was super cute or really, really tacky. Then I did want to quickly mention the two other fragrances that are in this line and this collection. So there's 3 in total. This was one of them. I feel like this one is the most feminine, most pink, most sweet smelling out of the other 2. But I did want to mention the other 2 just in case maybe these are more your vibe. So there is Bohème. And Bohème actually has notes of black currant, peony, and white amber, which the notes of this one sound amazing, and it totally feels like this one I would love because I love black currant and I love peony and white amber. But when I smelled it, it reminded me a lot of scents like Gucci Bloom. It smelled a lot more floral than it is. I didn't pick up much of the black currant. I didn't really even pick up much of the peony. Like, it was by no means the star of that fragrance. It was just a little bit more fresh than I would have wanted it to. It didn't really stand out to me. And then the last scent in the collection is called Moon Dance, and this one has notes of velvet, rose, magnolia, and sandalwood. And that one was just okay to me. Honestly, after reading the notes of these fragrances, kind of makes me want to go back and smell them a little bit more, because I feel like I might have just wrote them off a little too quickly. And as we all know, when you're in the store smelling a million different perfumes, they all kind of mesh together and you can't really detect what's what. So I might have to just go in one more time and kind of smell the others just to see if I want to test anything else in this brand, because I do really, really like it. This one was definitely my favorite. I just felt like it was the most, I mean, they were all very feminine, so I can't really say it's the most feminine out of all 3, but it was just the prettiest in my opinion. It was the most pink smelling, and I felt like it was the sweetest out of all 3. I will say the lasting power of this is not the greatest. It lasts on me a little bit longer than Gorgeous Gardenia did by Gucci, especially if I do my little tweaks like the Vaseline trick and things like that. I have a whole video on how to make your scents to last on my channel, and that has a lot of tips and tricks, and that has helped me out quite a lot with scents that don't really perform too well. And I would definitely categorize this as one of those scents. It's also very, very soft. It's super soft scent. It's not strong by any means. It's not gonna project like crazy. I would say this is more so kind of like a more intimate scent. Like if your partner were to come and kiss you or smell you or like sniff your neck, they would definitely be able to smell it. Like it just kind of becomes one with your skin, almost like a skin scent. So it's not like you're gonna leave this big trail of scent. So if you're someone that likes the not so strong scents, this one's definitely one for you. But once again, that just comes with not such great performance. Another reason why I really, really like this is it kind of reminds me a little bit of Nina Ricci by Nina Ricci, like the little apple bottle, and also Amor Amor by Cacharel, which are 2 scents I really, really like. They remind me of my childhood, and this one has a hint of those. It's a lot quieter than those. It's not as loud and projecting, because those are two stronger scents. I would say this one's not as strong, but there is hints of them in this, which I really, really love. It's more like a pink, more feminine version of the two, but I absolutely love that I can smell a hint of those scents because, like I said, I grew up with those types of scents. So when I smell those in this, I just love it that much more. So that is it for my little review on this. I would give the scent a 9 out of 10. Really love it. It's not the most unique thing in the world, but I really, really love it, so I will definitely rank it higher. And then as far as performance, I would give that like a 5 out of 10. It's not the worst performing scent I've ever tried, but it's also definitely not the best. Let me know if you've tried out LoveShackFancy, if you've tried any of the scents from this brand, and let me know if I need to try out any of the others, because now after smelling this and after reading the notes a little bit more closely of the others, there's definitely a part of me that wants to go back and give the others a second chance, or just wear them a little bit more, wear them out the store and see what they truly, truly smell like. But also let me know if you guys have them, if you think based off of my scent taste, if I would like any of the others. I would definitely love to review some of the other scents in this collection. But that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!